Hi everybody, welcome to Puddinwood Avenue. My name is Beanie. Let's see what today's project entails, shall we? So today our project is going to be a simple beanie using double crochet stitches. But first I'm going to show you a little trick. The first thing I'm going to show you is how to use or how to start with a magic circle or a magic ring. We've already learnt how to make a circle in the Granny Square video. And it's just using our foundation chain of 4 and slip stitching it in to create a ring. Today I'm going to show you how to make the magic circle or the magic ring. So let's have a look at the equipment that we need. So the yarn I'm using today is Lion Brand Mandala, however you'd like to say it. It's a number 4, oh my goodness. It's a number 4 medium weight yarn. So in Australia, that's known as a 10 or 12 ply yarn, okay? It's also known as a worsted weight, Aran weight, or Afghan weight yarn. Recommended knitting needle size is 4.5 mil, and I have no idea about knitting. And it recommends a 5.5 mil crochet hook. So this is the colorway. This is how the striping happens within the ball. And this one is called Pure. Now I bought this from Spotlight. I really like Lion Brand yarns. They're always really beautiful and soft. This one is, I'm certain, 100% acrylic. Yep, 100% acrylic. And a really good thing about Lion Brand yarns is that if you go onto their website, lionbrand.com, there's lots and lots, 8,000 free patterns. Okay, so let's have a go at, we're going to be using my very special, I'm very excited, I just got this in the mail. It's come from America. This is a Furls Odyssey crochet hook. Now, they're designed to be very ergonomic. There's lots of different types of Furls hooks, but this Odyssey one is supposed to be really good if you've got arthritis, and it's supposed to be very ergonomic. It's supposed to balance. Let's see if that does or not. It's got a balance point, so that even though that handle looks really big and fat and heavy, it's actually balanced really well. Okay, so I have found with a little bit of arthritis in my little finger that it doesn't hurt. I've only had this for a couple of days, but this works really well for me. This is also known as a tapered hook, which is, no it's not, it's called an inline hook, whereas your regular hooks are tapered. That's a whole other video that we'll have a look at another time. But this is my Furls hook. So I need a little bit of practice with it because it is an inline hook, and so they crochet a little bit differently to tapered hooks. And at the moment I'm tending to split my yarn a little bit. Mandala's pretty good though. So, alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to start just like normal. So normally to start any crochet project, you would use a slip knot. Okay, so remember, a slip knot is crossing over your yarn, having a short tail on the underside of your main piece, and you're going to put your hook into the loop you've made, wrap your yarn from front to back, hold it, pull it through, pull the ends to make your knot, and you're going to cinch it up onto your hook. Okay, that is just a normal, simple slip knot. My rooster's going to town. Okay, so to start your magic circle or your magic ring, it's very much the same. So you're going to start with your loop. So there's your awareness knot. You're going to put your hook through that loop, wrap your yarn from back to front, but you're not going to pull it tight. So you're going to pull it through, and you're going to come up and you're going to capture your yarn, and you're going to do a chain stitch. And that creates a loop. So you need the tail to be coming out to the left hand side here, and you're going to work into the center loop that you've just done. I'll do that again. So it's just like starting your slip knot. So you're going to make a loop, put your hook into the loop, wrap your yarn from back to front, pull it through, and instantly do a chain stitch. your tail, your short end, your tail should come out to the left, and you'll have a loop here that you're going to work into. Okay, so let's do that one more time and then we'll get into making our beanie. Okay, so making your loop, putting your yarn through, capture your yarn, pull it through, and we're going to do 3 chain stitches. 1, 2, 3. Would have been good if I had done that on camera. All right, let's do that again. Sorry, I'll stay on camera this time. So make your loop, yarn over, pull it through, and we're going to do 3 chain stitches. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and so we've got our loop. So that's our first double crochet, and we're going to do 11 more into that loop. So yarn over, into the loop, capture your yarn, pull it through. You've got 3 loops on your hook. Wrap your yarn from back to front, pull it through the first 2. Again, see, I'm splitting my yarn with this hook, but I'll get there. And pull it through 2. So you've now got the equivalent of 2 double crochets into your loop. So we need 10 more. So round, 1, 2, trying to look through my camera, this is a bit hard. Again, see, my yarn is fighting me, and I can see that I've actually split my yarn. So I'm going to undo that. Don't be afraid. If your yarn, you need to listen to your yarn. If it's resisting you, there's usually something wrong, okay? So don't be afraid to pull that last stitch out. Make sure that you've captured all of the ply in your thread. Again, I think I'm splitting mine because of the new tapered hook. Okay, so we're going to do another double crochet. That's better. I think too I'm leaning on it on the table. It's creating a bit of tension. So do a few, give them a count. So we'll need 12, including that 3 double crochet at the beginning, into the middle of your loop. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Don't be afraid to give that tail a bit of a tug. Another double crochet. 9, 10, 11, and 12. So very, very important, make sure that you count what you've got. So we've got, don't count this loop on the hook, does not count, never ever counts. So let's have a look. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and that the 3 chain here at the beginning makes 12. So what we're going to do is we're going to find the top of that chain 3, and we're going to slip stitch to close our loop. Okay, so we've got this great big gap in the middle here. Oh my goodness. I find that it's really easy, it's much easier to join and close my ring first and then tighten my yarn, tighten my circle. So that tail that we've got hanging out there, you're just going to put it between your fingers and hold your work, and you're going to pull it nice and tight. Make sure though that you don't break your yarn. Some yarn has a higher breaking tensile than others, and you're going to close that loop. So that's going to be the top of your beanie. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to, that same stitch where we just slip stitch together, we're going to chain 1, which does not count as a stitch, and we're going to do 2 double crochets into that same stitch. So yarn over through that stitch, capture your yarn, pull it through. You've got 3 loops on your hook, 1, 2, 3. Yarn over, through 2, yarn over, through 2. And we're going to do another one into that same stitch. So yarn over, into the stitch, capture your yarn, pull it through, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, through 2, yarn over, through 2. And we're going to do 2 double crochets into every stitch around. So at the end, you should have 24 stitches. So into the next V, into the next stitch, we're going to do 2 double crochets. 1, 2, and into the next one. So we're going to yarn over into the stitch, capture your yarn, pull it through, yarn over, through 2, yarn over, through 2. So that's 1 into that stitch and 2 into that stitch. So work it all the way around, 2 double crochets into every stitch all the way around. And when we get to the end and into row 3 and 4, you can see I've split my yarn again. I'm actually going to tell you a really cool little trick that I've worked out myself to remember how many you need in each row or each round to make it increase. All right, so I'll meet you up at the end when we get to about here. Okay, so we're almost at the end of round number 2. Very important, take a sip of coffee. All right, so we've got 1 stitch left. So we're going to do 2 double crochets into that last stitch. And then of course, it's really, really important. Let's make sure we count before we join. So we should have 24 all the way around. Okay, again, don't count the loop that's on your hook. So let me just use another crochet hook here. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and of course the top of our chain 3 here will make 24. So this is the stitch here that we're going to slip stitch into. Okay, so the top of the 3rd chain we're going to slip stitch into to close that round. Now here's my simple little trick that helps me remember how many stitches I need when I'm doing each row. So round 1, we've just done 1 double crochet. In round 2, we've actually done 2 double crochets into each stitch. Round 3, we're going to do sets of 3 stitches. So we're going to chain 1, which does not count, and we're going to double crochet back into that same space. So 1 double crochet into here, and then in the next stitch we're going to do 2. So when I do it, I count 1, 2, 3, and I know that in that last stitch I have to put 2. So let's do 1 in the first stitch and 2 in the next stitch. So 1 and 2 into the next stitch. 2, 3. 1 into the next stitch and 2 into the next. So 1, 2, 3. So all we're doing is increasing each round to make it bigger but stay flat. So next one, 1 into there, 2 into here. So 1, 2, 3. I know I'm on round 3. I need 3 groups of 3 stitches. 1, 2, and into the same stitch, 3. keep going off camera there, sorry about that. Okay, so keep going, 1 in the first stitch and 2 double crochet in the next stitch. Keep going all the way around. Oops, split my yarn again. Keep going all the way around and I'll see you at the end of this round. Okay, so we're back at the end of our round. I know I'm right because I've got 2 stitches left, 1, 2. So I'm going to put 1 double crochet into here and 2 into this one to finish my round. So 1 in there and 2 into this last one. 1 and 2. And I'm going to, before I slip stitch into this chain here, I'm going to count, make sure that I've got all of my stitches. So this is where I'm going to crochet into the top of my chain 3. So let's count these stitches. Take that hook out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. So I know that I have the right amount of stitches in that round. So I'm going to slip stitch into the top of that chain 3 stitch to close my work. So that is round 3. So let's have a look. Round 4. Round 4 is very similar. This time we're going to put our double crochets into sets of 4. So we're going to chain 1, which doesn't count, just takes us up to the next height, and into that same stitch we're going to do 1 double crochet into that stitch, I'm going to do 1 crochet, double crochet into the next stitch. So 1, 2, and to make the count to 4, in the next stitch we're going to do 2 double crochets into the same stitch. So yarn over, 3 and 4. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's what we're going to continue. So 1 double crochet into the next stitch, 1 double crochet into the next stitch, and 2 double crochets into the next stitch. So 1, 2, 3 and 4. My yarn is just pulling tight. It's hanging down off the edge of the table. And I've got a little bit of a yarny but barf knot here. Just get rid of that. Put it up on the table because it's pulling. Alright, so we're into round 4. We're doing groups of double crochet in sets of 4. So 1 into the first stitch, 1 into the next stitch. Oh, goodness gracious me. Yarn everywhere. And 2 into the third stitch. So we've done our 2, so let's go again. So 1 into the first stitch, 1 into stitch number 2, and 2 into that third stitch. So 3 and 4. So 1, 2, and then we want 2 in the next stitch to make up our little bundle of 4. 3 and 4. So continue around and I'll meet you at the end over here somewhere to make sure that we've got the right amount of stitches. Okay, so we know that I'm almost at the end of round 4, and I know that I'm right because I've got 1, 2, 3 stitches left. So let's finish off this round. So 1 double crochet into the first stitch, 1 double crochet into the next stitch, and 2 double crochets into the third stitch. 1 and 2. Now again, even though I am certain that I have my stitch count correct, I'm again going to count my stitches to make sure. Once you've been experienced for a little bit, you know, like if this was me not doing a tutorial, I would not count because I know that I'm right. But if you're just starting off, it's really important because if you miss a stitch or you've put too many in there, you can kind of fudge your way through. But if you've got an intricate pattern that works on multiples of stitches, you need to make sure that you've got the right ones. Okay, so we're going to, there's the top of our chain 3 that we're going to slip stitch into. Don't count the loop on our hook, and I'm gonna go back this way. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, and this one here is 48, so I know that I have the right amount of stitches. Okay, so there's the top of my chain 3. I'm going to slip stitch into that to close my circle. And we're going to start round number 5. So round 5, guess what? We're going to do groups of 5 double crochet. So we're going to chain 1 to start, does not count, and we're into that first stitch where we just slip stitched into. We're going to do 1 double crochet. So we're going to go into there, capture your yarn, pull it through. So 1 into there, 1 into the next one, 2, 1 into the next one, 3, and because we're working in multiples of 5, we're going to do 2 stitches into the last stitch, number 4. So we're going to do 2 double crochet into the 4th stitch. So round 5, we're doing clusters of 5. Well, they're not really clusters, they're just doing groups of 5. Okay, so we've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and again, I think I count it this way because to me it's like music beats. If you're going back to really basic music, it's ta 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 ti ti, is that it? But it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, and I've got to do another one of 5 into that 4th one. Sorry, but that's just how my brain works. I am a drama teacher. All right, so we've done, there's another group of 5. So there's our 2 in the stitch over there. Then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're just going to continue our groups of 5 all the way around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into the same stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, oh, I missed a ply. And 5. So continue that all the way around, and I'll meet you over here somewhere. Okay, so we're almost at the end of row 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 4 stitches left. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I know I'm on the right track. So I'm going to do my last 5 stitches. 1, 2, 1, Oh, no, my wool yarn is caught, so make sure you're listening to your yarn. If it's tight, if it gives you any sort of resistance, there's something wrong. So make sure that you check it. Mr. Maynard's out there barking somewhere, and now Lola's going to. So I've done 1, 2, 3, and we're going to do 4 and 5 into the last stitch. 4 and 5. So count your stitches. Again, not counting this one on the hook because that never counts. You should have 60 stitches all the way around. Okay, once you've counted, you know that you're right, then you're going to slip stitch into the top of that third chain. So slip stitch into there. Make sure you get all of the pliers. What are you doing? Slip stitch. So that is round 5 completed. So round 6, we're about to do round 6. Now, all of the rows so far, so rows 2, 3, 4 and 5 have been increased rows. Row 6 is also an increased row. However, if you're doing a beanie for a child, I would stop at row 5. If you're doing a beanie for an infant, I would stop at row 4 because that's going to increase it just the right size for the person that you're making it for. If you're making it for somebody who has a larger than average head, I would go on and do a 7th round of increased rows. But 6 is the average size, okay? So let's do row 6. So we're going to chain 1, which again does not count. And we're going to do groups of 6 stitches. So we're going to double crochet into that first stitch where we slip stitched into. So 1 into the next one, 2, 1 into the next one, 3, 1 into the next one, 4, and we're on row 6, so we need to have 5 and 6 in the same stitch together. 4, so 5 and 6. Go again. What's out there, mister? Maynadio and Lula girl. They both come to say hello. Hello, I can't pat you, I'm doing something. Oh, so 1 into the next 4 stitches, 1 double crochet into the next 4 stitches. So 1, 2, 3 and 4. And 2 into the next stitch. So 4, we've got 5 and 6 in the same stitch. 5 and 6. Okay, starting our group of 6 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 go in the same stitch. 5 and 6. Okay, continue around until we get to the end of row 6. That was a single crochet. One, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Okay, we're almost at the end of round 6. Again, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stitches left, so I know that I'm going to fit my last 6 stitches into here. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4. That last stitch has got 2 in it. 5 you should have 72 stitches all the way around at the end of row 6. And that is the top of your beanie. See how nice and flat it sits? There's no wrinkles, no curves, no bobbles. That's exactly what you're looking for. Okay, so let's slip stitch now into the top of our chain 3 stitch, and the rest of it is so simple, you're not going to believe how easy this is. So the rest of it is double crochet all the way through. There's no more increases unless of course you're going to make it for a bigger than average size head. You'll do another row, or even maybe, for example, my son-in-law Mr. Mitchell, who has a very large head, 8 rows does him perfectly. So make sure you take a measurement of the person's head that you're going to be making it for. So let's measure across, somewhat one side to the other. So it's about 16 centimeters in diameter. Okay, and that should be a good size for an average size head. Okay, so exactly the same, and we're just going to chain up 1, which doesn't count, and we are just going to double crochet into every stitch around your beanie bases. I'm getting excited because I'm almost at my color change. It's coming. It's going to be very, very shortly. That's all. Even as long as you've been crocheting forever, when you get to a color change, it's always exciting. All right, so it's just 1 double crochet in every stitch all the way around, and this will be row number 7. Now, if you want to, you can use a row counter to make sure that you know what row you're on. Sometimes it's hard to count your rows. Sometimes the stitches, they join in together and it's really hard. This one is pretty easy because you're starting from the center and we're counting out. We can see very clearly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've done our 6 rows. But you can always use, where's my little doodaddy here? This is just one of the many types that you can get. And this is a tally counter or a row counter, stitch counter. So we're on row 6 at the moment, so we'll just reset, make sure it is at 0. And so we've done row 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we've just started row 7. So you can attach that, it attaches to your finger. I find it a bit fiddly and gets in my way. I just put it to the side. The hardest part of using that is actually remember to press the button every time you start a new row. But if you just continue on doing your they're not single crochets, they're double crochets. Double crochets are my favorite stitches to do. They're just, I can just go and go and go, not even think about it. Of course, making sure that you do get into every stitch and that you do have all of the plies in your yarn. As you can see, I'm actually getting better with this new Furls Odyssey inline crochet hook. Not splitting as much, although mandala, however you want to say it, yarn is usually pretty good, doesn't usually split very much. Other yarns, in particular the Marvel yarn from Spotlight, I find is quite splitty, so you have to be careful with that. So I'm just going to continue all the way around, and I'll meet you 1 in each stitch, double crochet in each stitch all the way around. We're not increasing anymore, and I'll meet you at the end of round 7. Okay, so I'm almost at the end of round 7. Now, something that you need to make sure of before you start each row is that from this point forward, that you have 72 stitches in each row. Now, a big mistake that a lot of people make is they actually want to go into this next stitch here. But this is actually the chain this is a slip stitch from the previous row, okay? You don't want to go into here, otherwise you'll still be increasing. So let's make sure, and you can see that that row has started to curve inwards, which is exactly what we want. So we need to make sure we've got 72. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, because there's the top of my chain 3. So I know that I've got 72 stitches, and that's what we want for each round from now on. Now, don't forget, this is actually the outside. Even though we're working and it's going to be wanting to turn this way, this side here is the wrong side, the place where you've got your beginning tail, okay? So make sure that as you're working through, that you're working from to the right side, to the right side, the correct side, this side here, not the wrong side, so that when we do our band, our ribbing on the edge, that we're around the right way. Okay, so a big mistake that, again, lots of people make, and this is how you go wrong with your count, is you can see that there's a V there. Please, please don't go into that V. It's not part of the row. So you need to find the top of and this one here. So there's a V here that you might want to go into. There's a V here, which is your chain 1 stitch. But you don't want that. You want to actually go into this one here, okay? And you're going to slip stitch into that to close your work. So you need to make sure that you've got 72 all the way around before you slip stitch closed. And it's a bit of a pain to start with, but you need to make sure that you've got the right number of stitches, otherwise you will be increasing. Another mistake that you might make too is that if you change hooks, even if they're the same size, for example, this is a 5.5, so a 5, an I in America. This is also a 5.5 mil, so 5.5, 5.5. Now, the heads are different, the tapering is different, so this is tapered, this is inline. They might be slightly different in widths, and you also need to make sure that you're using the hook that is recommended in the pattern. It doesn't necessarily have to be what's recommended on the label for your yarn, but you need to make sure that you're using the hook size that goes with your pattern, because if you change your hook size up or down, it's going to make a difference. Sorry for that interruption. Okay, so now we're about to start row 8. So chain 1, and this is when I try and remember to add it to my stitch counter. So press the button. So now I'm on row 8, so I know which row I'm on. So I'm going to go all the way. So let's fold him over. How cute is that? It looks a bit weird because we don't actually wear them. They're round. But we need it to be about, let me have a look here. My little handy dandy tape measure. So go from the middle. They need to be about 20 to 21 inches. That's not right. 8 inches, 21 centimeters. What am I doing? So about 8 inches or so, 21 centimeters is usually the right length that you need to make sure that it comes down to your ears. Now we're going to stop probably at, let's say, 18 centimeters, so that we can then add the rest of it as our band, our ribbing to edge it. Okay, so you're going to keep going row after row after row, and I'll let you know as soon as I get to how many rows I've done, I'll let you know so that you can stop. But that's what we're going to do. We're just going to continue. And oh, I'm so excited. I still haven't gotten to my color change yet. But we're just going to continue. Double crochet into every stitch all the way around. Slip stitch into the top of your chain 3. Chain 1, do the next row. We're going to do that, and I'll meet you back when we've got a few done. Okay, so how did you go? I have done a total of, can we see that? 15, there we go, 15 rows. So from the top all the way down, I've done 15 rows. That makes it, where's my little tape measure? From the top, that takes it to 18 centimeters or 7 inches. I'm not a inches girl, I'm a metric. So 18 centimeters, and we're going to do 2 rows of ridge stitch, which will finish off our beanie really well. And it's exactly the same as what we've been doing, except it's called front post and back post double crochet. Okay, so let's have a look. So here's my hook, get back into my yarn. So I've slip stitched into that last stitch, and I'm going to again chain 1. Now into this first stitch here, we're actually going to do a double crochet, but instead of going into the stitch, we're going to go around the stitch. So we're going to yarn over, we're going to put our hook in between this post and this post. We're going to put it around and capture that post with our hook. Let me just see if I can zoom that in a little bit maybe. So I'll take it out. So we're going to go into the first post here. We're going to yarn over, go behind the stitch, capture our yarn and pull it through. And then it's just the same as a normal double crochet. So 3 loops on our hook, yarn over through 2, yarn over, pull through. And that's going to create a post, a ridged post that's going to stand upwards. Now what we're going to do is so that's front post. We're now going to do a back post into the next stitch, around the next stitch. So yarn over, but this time, instead of going front post like that, we're actually going to go to the back of the stitch. So make sure, I like to hold my finger onto the hook and the yarn to make sure it doesn't slip off. And I'm going to go around the back of the post, capture it like that, capture my yarn and pull it through. It is a little fiddly. Once you get the hang of it though, it's really easy. And the effect that the ridge has is really quite amazing. So then we're just going to finish it off just like a normal double crochet. So we've got 1 ridge at the front, 1 ridge at the back. So into the next one, we're going to do a front post. So go under, capture your yarn, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. This time, we're going to go a back loop. So we're going to go around the back, capture our yarn, 2 loops, 2 loops. Okay, let's do that again. We're going to go front post, so yarn over. We're going to go under the post. Okay, going to go under the post, wrap your yarn, capture it, pull it through, and then finish it off just like a normal double crochet. Back post, so wrap our yarn. We're going to go to the back of the post, back of the stitch. See if I can angle that. So we're going to go to the back, put our hook in front of it and through, capture the yarn, and then finish it like a normal double crochet. So we're going to do this all the way around. So front post, and back post. Okay, I'll just zoom back out a little bit. So front post, so capture it, put your post at the front, and double crochet, and back post. So put your post at the back of your hook. So we're going to go all the way around. Again, we've still got 72 stitches all the way around, and this time we'll have 72 front post and back post stitches by the time we get around to the end. Now see, I've got a little bit of resistance there, so I know that I've not caught all the plies. There you go, see there's one that's caught. So again, don't be afraid, everyone makes mistakes, everyone gets caught up. I'm not going to fluff through things. I'll show you this because if you make the mistake and you don't know how to fix it or don't think there's a problem, then your crochet is not going to be nice and neat and tidy. So we're going to do a back post. And again, my yarn is now loose, it's not fighting me, there's no resistance, so I know that I have all the ply in my thread. Back post, front post. Okay, so meet me at the end of this row, front post one stitch, back post the next, and we'll do that all the way around, and I'll meet you at the end of the row. This is row 16. Okay, so here we are, almost at the end of round 16. Can you see that? Where are we? Oh, there we go, round 16. So we've done front loop, back loop. Nope, front post, back post, front post, back post, all the way around. And we've got our 2 stitches left. So we've just done a back loop, back post. We're going to do a front post. And end with a back post. So we've gone all the way around and we've alternated between front post, back post, back post, all the way around, and we've ended on the opposite to what we've started. So we're going to slip stitch into the top of that post right there. We're going to click our little button here to go row 17. And we're going to go exactly the same as we did last time. We're going to chain up 1, which doesn't count, and we're going to go around the post here. Okay, so we're going to do front post. So catch it and bring it around, and then finish with a normal double crochet. And we're going to do back post. So go around the back, catch it, pull it through. Go nice and slow. This is a little tricky until you get used to your stitches. Once you get used to it, it's quite handy to have this particular stitch under your belt. And front post or back post stitches are often included in some intricate looking patterns. It can be for shawls, shirts, more beanies, blankets. Again, it's just another really good stitch to have under your belt. So that's what it's going to look like. We're going to front post on top of front post. Oops, catch the stitch. And back post on top of back posts. All the way around. Oh, see, I've dropped my stitches, is why you need to keep your finger on it. Okay, so hold that in place. For me, even now, as many times as I've done this, back posts. Still not right. Tricks me up. All right. Hold your yarn. No, it's gone. Come on. There we go. No, I've missed it again. Oh, goodness gracious. Again, I'm not going to edit out any mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes. And if you think that, people are perfect online, this stitch is going to kill me. Don't be fooled. Everyone has days where they just can't do things and, things don't go quite right. But if you persevere, go nice and slow, it'll work out in the end. So we're going to go all the way around. I'll meet you at the end of this round, which is round 17. And then we've got one last row to finish off, and our little beanie will be done. Okay, so we're getting to the end. We've got a couple more stitches left. So front post, back post, and slip stitch into the top of your first front post. Righty-o then. That's what we've got so far. Looking good, looking good. Now, just to finish it off, to tidy up that bottom edge, all we're going to do now is a 1 row of single crochet in every stitch. So our last one, can I get it? So row 18, we're just going to, same as always, chain up 1, which doesn't count. We're going to single crochet back into that stitch where we've just slip stitched into. So single crochet into every stitch. So easy peasy. Single crochets are really good to do around edges. It just tidies everything up, makes everything look really complete. And I have color controlled a little. I've gone back to the original color that we started with. So just a single crochet into every stitch all the way around, just to finish off our little beanie. See, I'm resisting there, so I've caught a ply. Always listen to your yarn. It's telling you a story. Work with it, not against it. The hardest part is to remember to do single crochets and not double crochets, because you've just double crocheted everything here. Okay, so single crochet into everything, and I'll meet you around at the end and I'll show you how to finish off. Okay, so we're almost at the end of round 19, just doing a single crochet into every top of every stitch all the way around. And here we are at the end. All we're going to do is to slip stitch into the top of that first one and slip stitch. We're going to do like a chain here, and we're going to pull our yarn through. I'm going to snip it off and continue to pull it all the way through. So that is our finished simple double crochet beanie. Okay, so let's finish it off by weaving in our ends. So we're going to do the middle last in here. So we'll do our outside one first. So all I've got here is I like using the bent hooks. So there's this one. It has the big eye in it to easily to catch the yarn. But of course there are straight ones and other sizes. They differ in thicknesses. But they've all got the big eye in here to capture the yarn. So I'll show you an easy way to put the yarn through the eye of the needle. So what we're going to do is we're going to just bend the yarn over the hook like that and pinch it tight, and then we're going to put our eye over it, and we're just going to wriggle back and forth and push it through, and then it's looped. Now you can see that there's a knot there. Okay, let's see if we can hide that a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in the back loop of the stitch behind and pull my yarn through. Now you have to be careful that you don't pull through too tight, because otherwise you're going to distort your yarn. Going through the next one. See if I can hide that knot underneath. Use the hook. Okay, and I'm going to go in through here. Now, there's lots of different ways. My knot's still not hidden very well, but it's the back of the hat, back of the beanie. And then what you're going to do is you're going to go on the inside, and you're going to grab a couple of stitches, and it's actually good if you go into the yarn itself, split it, because it makes it easier, makes it harder to come undone. So grab a few, pull it through. Not to, again, don't pull it too tight because otherwise you'll distort. Turn it around. General rule of thumb is if you go through like 3 times, it's pretty hard to come out. It won't come out when you've in the wash. So just go through a few times. I really try hard not to let my yarn go to the front. Yep, one more time. And you can see I'm just catching one further back each time, trying to split my yarn that I've already been through. And that, my loves, will not come undone. Okay, so I'm just giving a little stretch, can't see it on the front, and I'm just going to give it a snip. Oh, my little purple scissors are getting a little bit blunt. So there is our finished beanie. Look at the mess all around, oh my goodness. Okay, so what I'm going to do is give you the option of leaving it as is, or we can make a pom-pom to go on the top. That's why I've left the tail yarn, oh my goodness, stop bumping the camera. I've left that tail yarn in here so that we can use it to tie off our pom-pom. So let me just grab the Pom Pom Maker and some leftover yarn that we have. Now you could probably get, seriously, 2 beanies out of 1 cake of Lion Brand Mandala Ombre. Alright, so just give me a second, I'll grab the Pom Pom Maker and I'll show you how to make a pom-pom. Okay, so here are my pom-pom makers. I think I got them off, I don't know, eBay? Could be Wish. I'm not sure, but they came in 4 different sizes. I haven't used this weenie one yet. This one here makes tiny little, so here's one I prepared earlier. So this one makes a small little pom-pom. I actually haven't used my jumbo size yet either. And so this is the one that I usually use. So just a regular, good size pom-pom for the top of beanies or anything else that you'd like to use them. Of course, you don't have to have a pom-pom on the top. I have a couple here that I haven't put pom-poms on. This one's for my son. No, Mum, I don't want a pom-pom. So this one's done on my knitting machine, which I'll show you at some stage of my life. So we're going to make, oh, my rooster's going off. Going to make pom-poms to go with the beanie that we've just created. So this is really quite simple to use. All you're going to do is you're going to open up, make sure they're joined. You're going to open up each side like that and like that. Okay, and then so we started with the pink, so let's go with the pink, this color pink, and then we've got some of that color. So I've got all of the bits because I color controlled our beanie a little bit to make sure that I had all the colors in. So we're going to start with the dark pink because that's what started with our beanie, and all we're going to do is we're just going to wrap it around these 2. Make sure that they stay together. So the first couple are always a bit winky wonky, but that's okay. All right. The first 2, yeah. all of it's going to be winky wonky. Bendy, what are you doing? All right. So, okay, round and round and round and round. Make sure that, now I've got a few around, that they don't get caught like this. And also, yeah, make sure that you've got good coverage of each colour. Okay. So there's the pink, the dark pink. And of course I've put all the other yarn on top of it. Okay, so I'm not going to go too much. Pull it out of the yarn, out of the skein. Oh, I've got a hook caught in there. Awesome. Nothing like organisation, right? Okay. Get it back to this end here. Untangle your yarn. Okay. And I'm having a moment. I'm having a bendy moment. Oh, okay. Sorry. So get it to the side that's not joined. And you're going to close it. Now, this is going to be a little difficult because I actually want to put all of those colours on here. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to snip the yarn and I'm going to go with the next colour. So the next colour in our beanie is the darker blue. So I'm going to use the darker blue, see if I can find an end without creating the mother of all knots. Can't guarantee. Oh, I may have to stop it for a second. Have I got an end here? Yes. Okay. I think I just made a knot there. So then I'm just going to continue wrapping it with the next colour. So wrap it a few times. If it would be much easier if it was just with one colour. But you know me, I like to be difficult. Set a challenge. Okay. Now the trick with these two is you can't make them too thick or you'll just never tie them off successfully. Okay, so I've done around a couple of times. I'm going to snip that one off. See if I can find a good end for the light blue. Because I put them all on top of each other. Not very marked at all. There we go. There's an end. All right, so here's the light blue. Again, just join it up there. Hang on to those ends. Try and capture them in. It doesn't matter if they stick out because you're going to trim it off anyway. It'll be fine. Okay. And do a couple of wraps of this one. I'm sure this is very exciting for you all. Okay, pull that one back up there. Snip this one off. And go with my light pink. Okay. If I did it on camera, that would probably be really good, right? Now you can see that it's getting quite full, so I wouldn't put too much more on. And again, all these pieces sticking out, that's going to be fine. We'll trim them up. So all of our pom-pom looks the same. Now I'm going to be a little tricky here. I'm actually going to have, will I or won't I? Sure, why not? Let's try it and see how it works out. So I've got it right back to the end. I'm going to close this end up. Okay, make sure that my yarn is at the top. I'm going to close this end. And then I'm going to pop it through the little gap here. And I'm going to start wrapping it around the other side. So get it down as close as you can. And just wrap. So my pom-pom, and I could be wrong, I usually am, my pom-pom will have the dark pink in the middle, then the darker blue, the lighter blue, and the light pink will be on the top. Whereas if I was doing it, if I had done it the other way, the way I started this one, and started with my, is that right? No, I think it's the opposite. Who knows? It's a mystery, it's a surprise, let's wait and see. Alright, so I've captured all of that. Do 2 layers. Everything you do with me is a surprise, right? Oh, got them caught under here, try not to do that. Yep, okay. Okay. And I'm going to snip that off. And I'm going to go with the light blue. Let's separate them out so that we're not. And the light blue, which is here. So again, just going to wrap it. Now my pom-pom's going to be opposite, isn't it? I don't know. I'm not very good with this perception sort of stuff. I'm a visual learner. I have to see things to understand how they work. And at least I'll know for next time if I do a pom-pom like this. And you'll know because I've done it trial and error. I'll be your guinea pig. Okay. Very good, and we'll snip her off. Go with the dark blue again. So put the light blue over here so I don't get them mixed up. See if I can find the end of the dark blue. You'd think I would because I just had it right. There it is, stop looking. And wrap the dark blue. Talk about fingers and thumbs, oh my gosh. Wrap it, wrap it, wrap it, wrap. It's been such a weird day today. It's raining, it's sunny, it's raining, it's sunny, it's blowing its backside off, and then it's still and calm. Alrighty. It's getting a bit thick now. We've still got the dark pink to go, so we'll give that one a snip. And then we'll end with the dark pink. Okay. Come on. It's because I can't let go of the... You gonna come out of there? No, no. There we go. If you ever get a tangle, don't pull it, don't pull, just work gently and it should work itself out. Okay, so last lot of wrapping. Again, if I did it on camera, it'd be great, right? Be able to see what I'm doing. Although there's probably people out there that are looking at me using this going, oh my God, that is wrong, what are you doing? It's worked for me so far. Okay. I do think perhaps I have a little too much yarn on my pom-pom, but we'll see how it works out. Okay, so I'm going to take it right down to the end because I don't have a lot down here. Okay, and I'm going to close that as well. Snip off my yarn. Oh, not my finger, thank you very much. And cut me an extra piece of yarn as well. Scratch my itch. And then we're going to go and we're going to cut down the middle of our yarn. So it really helps if you have very sharp scissors. These little black ones are relatively new and I absolutely love them. So try and stay, just follow that groove. Okay, so that's cut all the way through. Yep. Flip it over, hold that white part very tight. Snip, 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 all the way through, making sure that you get any that's in there. That one's cut. Okay, then you're going to take your, let's back it up a little bit. Then you're going to take your yarn and you're going to run it around the middle part here. Whatever you do, do not take the white part off yet. Oh my goodness. So, and then you're going to pull it really tight. Again, the tensile strength of your yarn, it totally depends on the brand and the content of the fibre that you're using. So pull it tight, but be very careful that you don't bust it. Okay, and I go through again and do another really tight knot. Oh my goodness, my yarn is splitting everywhere. And another one. And then comes the exciting / scary part. So these actually pull apart now. So you can actually, one of the ways to do it I've seen done is just to pull off the green. And you can see that it's stripy. And pull off the green this side. Again, sorry I keep hitting that camera on the tripod. And then pull apart your Pom Pom Maker. Okay, find your end. Give it a little bit of a shake of fluff. And you can see that you've got extras sticking out there, so just give it a little bit of a trim. Make them as even as you can. That's what I meant before, you know, you might have some bits sticking out, but that's quite okay. Trim it up. Try not to get too pedantic, can't guarantee that I'm going to do that. And it's really important to have sharp scissors when you're doing this, because the ends of the yarn can sometimes fray quite badly. And then your pom-pom just looks a mess. Okay, so all these lovely little fluffy bits, and push them over there, put the Pom-Pom Maker aside. Okay, so what we're going to do is into the center, and I know we've pulled our center tight, but you can use either a very small needle, a very small hook, or your needle, which is what I'm going to use. And I'm actually going to thread both of those pieces of yarn into my hook. Pull it all the way through. And I'm actually going to thread it through the center of my beanie. Okay, so push it all the way through. Pull it tight. So flip it inside out and pull it as tight as you can. Now, this is the tail that we started with. We haven't tied this off yet, and that's okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tie a few granny knots here. So I like to do them all together and then separate them out. And do this one here. pull it nice and tight. Okay, now I'm going to keep my tail, but I'm going to trim these guys. Okay, so I'm going to trim them off. And because my tail is now incorporated within that knot, I keep putting down my hook, my yarn needle. Can anyone see it? It should be here somewhere. Come back, where are you? Did I drop it? Possibly. Okay. No tinkle tinkle? No. Okay, lucky I've got other ones here. So what I'm going to do, sorry, bashing that tripod again, is I'm going to, still looking for it. There it is. Stop looking. Did you see it? It's just here. Why didn't you tell me? Okay, so I'm going to turn my beanie inside out. And I'm going to thread my beginning tail onto my hook. And this is where you're going to sew it into your beginning circle. So we're just going to go underneath some of the stitches here. Just do a few at a time. And pull it nice and tight. Again, the tighter you pull that, the smaller your hole's going to be at the top. Should be pretty tight anyway. Go back and catch one. Thread it under a few. Pull it through. Go back and catch one. So go around as many times as you like, as much yarn as you've got. It's going to secure your pom-pom on, but it's also going to tie your end in. You can go back the other way. I don't usually though with this one because it's tied into that knot. And then I'm going to snip it off. And there we are done. Give our pom-pom a lovely little fluff up, tie up any extra ends there that might be sticking out. Yep. And that, let me zoom out this way, is our finished beanie with a pom-pom on it. So thank you for joining me today. Give me a thumbs up if you liked the video, if you thought it was interesting. Leave me some comments below. What's your next project going to be? What would you like to learn about next? And if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button and the notification bell as well. The notification bell, if you press that, it comes up with 3 options. If you click all, every time I post a video, you'll get notified, so you won't miss out on any of my content. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you learnt something and I've inspired you to make yourself a simple scarf, simple beanie. That's not a scarf. Oh my goodness, I think it's time for a coffee. Have a great day. Thanks for watching and I'll catch you next time. Bye. Thanks for watching. Click the like button below if you like what you saw. Leave me a comment or 2 on what you'd like to see next. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button as well. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time. Bye.